Now, this week, in a bid to resolve the crisis, a security crisis in the country, the National Assembly has summoned the FCT minister, the ministers of defense, the minister of defense, rather, the security chiefs as well, just to figure out what the problem is and how to resolve it. It would seem as though the National Assembly is now taking the security issue a bit more seriously. Also this week, in the AFCON going on in Côte d'Ivoire, we saw how Nigeria won that South Africa in a 4-2 penalty shootout, and Nigeria is now qualified for the finals tomorrow. Now, those are some of the stories this week. We also understand that the president might be going to Côte d'Ivoire to watch the final. But big stories this week, a lot of things still happening in the country. Thank you so much for joining us. I am Precious Amayo. This is Standpoint. Two things we're preparing for in the country today, and that's two elections, one in Edo, not today, but in the course of the year, rather, in Edo and in Ondo. Ondo will be holding the election later this year, following, again, we saw the demise of the former governor, Keredolu. There is now a new governor. Will he be running? We'll be talking about that, any moment now. But let's focus on Edo. Edo will also be holding its election. The APC, there's been a lot of talk around zoning. The APC has said it will not zone. When you look at how it has selected its aspirants, the screening of the aspirants, they come from all the zones of the state. The primaries is next Saturday. But there are intrigues within the party. It will seem as though there is internal crisis and squabble within the APC ahead of that primary. We'll be speaking with a chieftain of the APC, Mrs. Victoria Amu, who joins us via Zoom. Good to have you join us.
Thank you very much. Good afternoon, everybody.
So we're seeing some developments within your party. We know that 12 aspirants have been screened by the National Working Committee. But a panel led by Ihonvere earlier had screened or approved or made recommendations for 6 aspirants, and now we're seeing 12. Explain to us exactly, what's going on.
The committee by Professor Julius Ihonvere was an advisory committee set up by Edo State APC because the total number of persons who were looking for the governorship position, including myself, who were 29. So the party in its magnanimity felt that in order for us to go out and win, they need to prune down the number of aspirants. So the committee was just an advisory committee that screened all the aspirants and made its selection based on what they had before them and how they perceived each person into the race. So I was screened out, but like I say, it's not about me, it's about the party, it's about APC regaining Edo State. So that committee pruned the number down from 29 to 10, and then from 10 to 6, and then from 6 to 4. So it was an advisory committee. It wasn't on a mission or an assignment from the national body of the party, because we can see that the national body of the party did set up its own screening committee headed by Professor Adedoja, the 7-man screening committee. And 12 of the aspirants chose to procure their forms, and go ahead with the National Working Committee screening. So that's what we see. And it's quite laudable. I chose to stand on party supremacy. I felt like the Edo State APC made its choice, and I just need to work with them. So that's where we are. And many other co-aspirants who did not procure the forms felt the same way, and that's where we are. Because it's not about the primaries; it's about the main election. It's about Edo State it's about APC regaining Edo State. So I think we need to bring all our strengths. We've all been tested, we've been trusted, we are trusted. We need to gather all our strengths together and make sure APC wins Edo State. And that's where I stand. And I think I have like minds like mine who also stand on that ladder.
And one of those people who the committee, advisory committee, as you've called it, did not include it on its list is a former candidate of the party, Omua Amu. And people thought that was a bit odd. On what basis did the committee come up with those 4 names?
Remember, I'm just an APC chieftain. Remember also, I'm not one of the party structures. That's what we women are advocating for now. It's for political parties in Nigeria to have women as party chairman. If I was speaking in the capacity of the party chairman or the party secretariat.
But I know that, but recommendations were made. Just allow me butt in a bit. Recommendations were made, and I'm sure those recommendations were read out, and that's what I'm asking you. From the recommendations, what did they say about the basis on which they have picked those 4 people?
It bordered on participation in the last political dispensation. Those of us who won our local government or lost our local government, or won our awards and lost our local government. It bordered on participation. I have been in politics for 18 years. So you know that I am a huge participant in politics. I have sponsored, I have contributed, I have seen, but I also was screened out. Don't forget, I'm also the only female in the governorship race, and I was screened out. And that's why I said it wasn't all about me. It was all about the party and the choices the party decide to make at this time, because the goal of the party and the goal of every one of us is for APC to reclaim Edo State. So screening out Pastor Omua Amu, it was the committee's unanimous decision. I cannot, if you ask me why they did that, I will not be able to give you an appropriate answer for that. And it will not also be fair for me to make assumptions for those advisory committee to make assumptions about what they were thinking about, how they were thinking, and the perspective at which they viewed each aspirant. It would not be fair on me to speak on it. So you also see Professor Osumbo being screened out. Osarime Osumbo was also screened out. There were a lot of big players that were screened out. Why? I don't know. But I just know that the party made this decision based on what they felt was right.
And I want to stay with that screening one more time, because you have spoken very highly, in our last conversation, you spoke very highly of the former governor, Shomole, in terms of his strides in Edo State while he was governor, and his continued support for the party in the state. But he has come under strong criticism, and some have said for what they have tagged his undue influence in the party process leading up to the election. Some have said he put, and that committee wasn't set up by, it wasn't the decision of the party, but that it was his sole decision, and that he had tried to impose a candidate on that committee and on the party. I want you to get your reaction on that.
Remember, I'm not yet a big player, but I'm a big player. Senator Adams Oshomole was a former governor of Edo State. Senator Adams Oshomole is the present senator representing Edo North in Edo State. Senator Adams Oshomole is also the leader, whether we like it or we don't. He's also the leader of Edo State, the leader of the party in Edo State. His contributions and his thoughts is a viewpoint that is always thought about and is always looked at in every decision that pertains to Edo State. If you say people are agitating, people did that with the President Bola Tinubu. Did you not see agitation all over the town? Did you not see people talking about how he's not the person that should be the president of Nigeria? But do you see him still standing firm? Because he told us that he used 20 years to build friendship, 40 years to build friendship, and he knew he needed to come and fix Nigeria. And that's why we're in renewed hope. So Professor, Senator Adams Oshomole is the leader of APC in Edo State. If there are issues, I believe that we all need to sit together and discuss it. The agitation going on, they are all personal interests. And if they are personal interests, you must also understand that they are coming from an angle of pain. They are coming from an angle of not being listened to, you know. So we need to, and that's where the woman factor is there. We are listeners, you know. We need to bring everybody together and listen to what they are saying and how they are saying it. But what is not controversial, what we cannot dispute is that Senator Adams Oshomole is the leader of the party. And I don't think he would do anything deliberately to bring his party to harm's way. That's my personal opinion. I don't know for that purpose.
And every state has a leader of the party where the governor is, you know, in another party, then, you know, the high-ranking or the most high-ranking public officer of the party in that state becomes the leader of the party. But I also wanted to ask if you're not concerned that, you know, your party is witnessing a replay of what happened in 2019 that made APC lose the election, the issue of imposition of candidates on the party.
When you tell me if I'm not concerned, you're not being fair. Because what you see in today's politics in Nigeria, did you see Weke bring his person in as governor? Does that make it right? That's the status quo of Nigerian politics. So when you ask me to be a propeller of change, what change do you think that I, as a female, who is also struggling to bring the female folks into governance, what do you think that I can do to change the situation? You have found leaders over time. It is not something you start today. It's not something that was started today. It's not something that people said, oh, it's just because he doesn't like this section of people or he doesn't like this. We have found leaders to go according to the dictates of their perception about the issues. So what we need to do is sit down and look at it, because the goal, like I said, is to win Edo State. I'm truly concerned that we must win Edo State. But how we win Edo State is what we all need to sit down and talk about. The leader has given a direction as to what he wants to do, how he wants to do by setting up the advisory committee. And we need to move away from that. The advisory committee has picked its their candidates. And then what can we do? You know, when we sit down together again to revisit the issue and right the wrongs, if there are any wrongs. That's what we should be talking about. You can't change a leader bringing his own person into governance. It's not. He would not bring a stranger. Even if he brings a stranger that he knows in 24 hours, he will also assume that he knows that person than the person he has known over 24 years. You know, until the stranger actually depicts that they are strangers, they really do not know what they are doing. I have been a grassrooter in Edo State. Am I a stranger in Edo politics? No, I am not. I truly am not. My face is all over Edo State. Between where you call my name Victoria Amu, you find me in the 3 senatorial areas. And you find people who know me and who I have been tested and have worked with leaders and grassrooters within Edo North, within Edo South, and within Edo Central. So it is the politics of today that is always biting us behind. So what we should all talk about is how can we make it better if it's not good?
And I would just follow up on that question, because people are saying, look, there is a repetition of that pattern. And my question really is, if that pattern is now being repeated, What are the chances of your party in this election, in the election this year, if that is the same? Because Edo people have a way of reacting to those things. When the issue of godfatherism has never sat well. When you follow Edo politics, the issue of godfatherism has never sat well with Edo people, and so they react to issues like that. And if that is at the fore of your party at this moment, what are the chances of your party?
The chances of my party winning back Edo State is beautiful. And it starts with us sitting together. And that's what the leader, Senator Adams Oshomole, is in the process of doing. He's in the process of bringing all the former aspirants and those who have picked up the ticket. He's in the process of bringing us together. We are in the process of discussing the way forward. Because it is the way forward. It is not about an individual. Yes, I know that we do not want a repeat performance. But when you say repeat performance, it is my opinion that it's a repeat performance. It is my opinion if I choose to stand that the leader is trying to bring about a repeat performance. It is the person who is saying it that is their personal opinion. The general APC
Mrs. Amu, I think you should mute yourself. We can no longer hear you.
It's one person's opinion, then we'll need to look at it. And when we look at it, we need to come up with solutions that will make this time around not a repetition of what happened. So I think that's what we all need to do. And that's what we all need to work towards. And I think that's what the National is doing right now. Because the National itself is discussing with APC, discussing with aspirants, discussing with those who have collected forms, discussing with leaders, bringing leaders and everybody together. And that's what they should do. Because our goal, like I told you, is to win APC, to bring Edo State to APC.
With the aspirants that have been screened, with all 12 of them, and they have received their certificates of screening, we see that all 12 of them are from different zones, which means that your party has decided to throw the ticket open and not go in line with zoning. Yes. What is the implication of that?
It makes it a lot better. It helps us to see the strength of every aspirant. Because every aspirant comes with their own strength in their own region and in other senatorial areas. So if they've thrown it open, it's fine. Don't forget, we have 3 senatorial areas. Edo South has the largest population of voters, followed by Edo North, and then Edo Central. So when we throw it open, we give room. That's my opinion. The party gives rooms for dialogue between aspirants. At certain point, you must find aspirants stepping down for the strongest link that is there. So I think that's where we're heading to. And that's what happens in every governorship, presidential election. At a point, you find those who will step down for the stronger link. And that's what we are going to see. It is not to APC's disadvantage that they throw it open. It truly is not. It's for us to be able to understand as a party where our strongest links are. And that's why they throw it open. I think my opinion.
You have said that it is not to APC's disadvantage, but some people are saying if APC fails to zone, then it is priming itself for defeat. How do you respond to people who are saying that?
I'm telling them that they should wait, because the next couple of days is going to cascade into meetings upon meetings. The next couple of days is you're going to see APC come out they come out with what they need us, they need APC members in Edo State to look at deeper. So I think we're just in a hurry. We are 7 days to the election. Today is the 10th, I'm sure. Yes, we are 7 days to the election. I think we're just in a hurry. Before the primaries, we will see a lot of people conceding. And the conceding is the knowledge of the strength of where we should look at, a narrow path at where we should look at. And I think we should, if you were asking me this question 3 days to the election, then I will be panicking, you know, that these same numbers are still going to the primaries. I will be panicking. But for me, I don't think there's anything we need to panic about. I'm sure every one of us in Edo State wants Edo State to become APC because we are tired. So we need Edo State to be APC.
And if I may ask you, which of these aspirants are you going to throw your weight behind?
You want me to tell you I'm going to throw my weight behind? No, absolutely. I will not tell you.
Why not? You were one, I mean, you had interest at first, you have supporters. I'm sure that your supporters want to see where you are going so they can follow.
Yes, my supporters have been calling me and they want to see where I'm going. I have supporters across the 18 local government area and they are all waiting. And in the name of politics, we wait. We wait. The last instruction is always the last instruction. So last instruction doesn't come 7 days before. Last instruction doesn't come 2 days before. Last instruction is last instruction. So they know. So they are not agitated. Non-politicians will say, yes, tell me, where are you leaning towards? So that I would be there. You can't be there. Wait for the last instruction. That's what politics is about.
So you will support anybody who emerges at the primaries on Saturday?
Yes, definitely. Definitely. I will. Why will I not? It's my party. And we need to take back Edo State. The more states that are APC states, the better. The better for the president, for President Bola Ahmed Tinubu, because he would be able to do all of those good things that he needs to do. He will not have people truncating his effort. So definitely Edo State should be part of APC. Because we now have a national APC.
And just before I let you go,
what's going on in Edo State?
Just before I let you go, are you seeing a wave of defection in your party at the end of that primary? Some people have very strong ambition, and if they can't realize it in the APC, they probably will move to other parties. Are you seeing that happening?
Deflection is order of the day. Deflection is an order of the day. Brainstorming about who defects and who doesn't. It's not, for me, it's not a way to go, because as those ones are defecting, there are other ones coming back into the party, other big wigs coming into the party. Because remember, there's always light at the end of the tunnel. So however you look at it, I'm a propeller of the cup being half full. I'm not a propeller of the cup being half empty. So defection, we have seen defection, people defect, then come back again, defect and come back again. Very few of us have just been steady and steady APC members over time. And I know that the president is working hard to repay those of us who have been steady APC members, because we are the most brutalized. All those who defect and come back, they get juicy positions. And those are the things they are trying to avoid at this time. You must stay where you are. And you must believe in the cause that you are holding. Because like I always tell people, when you are in a cause and you are looking at something outside, then it must be your village people worrying you. You know, so you must believe in the cause you are holding and be a propeller to it becoming the real thing. You know, use up your strengths positively. That's my own personality.
Victoria, I'm always a pleasure to speak with you. I'm sure we'll speak to you over and over again, just as your party prepares for that election. Thank you so much for talking to us. APC Chieftain in Edo State, Victoria Amu.
Thank you. Thank you so much for having me.
All right, as I said, earlier, Ondo State is also preparing for its election on November the 16th this year. We'll be having a conversation on preparations of the APC as well towards that election. Let's take a break now. We'll return with that conversation.